I'll stay near the hospital just in case. And he had a wander around the park, didn't he? And we went off to... And actually, that worked really well. I think if the three of us had stayed together, we probably would have got a bit fraught because we were all so stressed.
Definitely.
And it was, those few hours were some of the scariest hours ever because it's that lack of control. You've got no idea what's happening.
No.
And you're just waiting for the phone to ring. And I remember them saying the op will take about 5 hours. It got to 5 minutes before the 5 hours were up. And we'd checked into the accommodation on the grounds, which was brilliant, wasn't it? That you could stay at our house and we could stay at the accommodation on the grounds. Scott House and the charity that run that is just, the Sick Children's Trust that support that house is just fantastic. And please, anybody give money to the Sick Children's Trust if you can to keep those houses going. Because again, that took our minds off it a little bit, that we were, it's like checking into a hotel almost. And we, unpacked our bags and we were literally hanging things in the wardrobe. And they'd said, we'll know what room you've been given and we'll ring the phone in the room. And it was 5 minutes to 5 hours and the phone rang and John and I just looked at each other like, and it was like, is it good? Is it bad? Is it good? Who's going to pick the phone up? And I picked the phone up. I was like, and it was the surgeon that had done the operation, which I didn't expect. And she said, hi, I've finished Lucy's operation. It's gone really well. We've got a slightly leaky valve, slightly leakier than we wanted to leave it. But apart from that, she's done fantastic. She's in recovery. Don't rush over. You can't see her just yet. Give us a sort of half an hour or so and you can come over and see her. So I remember us both breathing, like that sigh of relief was just, and then the first thing we did was ring you. And actually, you weren't able to do anything because of COVID. And I don't know even know if it was a COVID thing. I think it might just be a rule in PICU that only the parents are allowed in. Yeah. So, and they said she'd be on PICU for at least 24 hours or something, didn't they? So we said, look, Mum, I think did you see? I don't think you did see us, did you? I think we had sent you home.
I remember, how long was she in hospital?
So she had the op on the Monday morning and they tried to discharge us on the Saturday, but we squatted until the Sunday.
Right. Because I remember sleeping next to Lucy.
Yes, once she'd gone on the ward.
Because I was worried about you and John being exhausted.
Taking her home, yeah.
So I did 2 nights watch with her.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was such a privilege. And I had my little bed next to Lucy's, one of those chairs.
The chair bed things next to the cot, yeah.
And honestly, every hour I must have woken up and like, oh yeah, a hand's still warm.
Oh God. And that's why I couldn't do that, because I would have done the same as you and I wouldn't have slept properly.
I knew you wouldn't.
And anybody that's going through anything like that, it doesn't have to be heart surgery. If you've got a poorly child in hospital and you've got a parent or a relative or a friend that is willing to come and sleep next to your child to allow you to go and sleep, please take them up on that offer.
Yes,
because it got us through that time, definitely.
You got some sleep.
We did get some rest. So yeah, she had the op on the Monday. She was in PICU. She's just smashed a recovery. I think you came to see her in PICU the next day on the Tuesday.
I saw her
when she did the little wave.
Did see her in PICU. We were all standing there and we were all going, "Hello, Lucy," and trying to sort of wake her up. And she, this little
still with her eyes closed,
came up and she waved.
We'll share the video on the website.
I'm here.
It's very cute.
Incredible.
It was amazing, wasn't it? And and once she'd done that, that's when all the nurses seemed to kind of relax a bit. Yeah. And they were like, "Oh, let's start weaning her off now, and let's get her going." And we were all like, "Really? Like, is she ready to wake up?" And they were like, "Well, we'll do it tomorrow morning." So I think they did it on the Wednesday morning, and that same day, the Wednesday morning, they brought her around, took her everything away, and that was a bit scary. That was a bit of a traumatic moment because as she came up from the sedation, she pulled the breathing tube out, and there was a bit of a panic, and there was an emergency happening, and there weren't any doctors available, and the nurses, again, couldn't see their faces, but I could see their eyes, and I could see the panic in their eyes. So we were kind of ushered into the family room, which wasn't the best moment, but it is what it is. These things do happen, and they did, they were very professional. They did deal with it really well. And again, the surgeon happened to be available to come in and tell us what had happened, and they'd got they didn't put the feeding tube back in, but they got the breathing tube back in and everything was okay. Or the oxygen on her or whatever they needed to do. And she said, again, like, give us 10 minutes, just make sure she is definitely settled. And then you can come back and see her. And she was fine. And that later that day, they were like, right, she's not PICU. She doesn't need to be in PICU anymore. Let's get her onto the HDU ward, which is like the high dependency ward where
we're all like, are you sure?
We were like, I'm pretty sure you said she'd be on PICU for at least 3 days. And this is like the beginning of the 3rd day. And you're telling us she needs to go on HDU. And we were like, are you sure? Are you absolutely? Yes, we've done this quite a few times. We are sure.